I happen to have children affected by sickle cell disease, and out of my 5 children, 3 were affected. Sometime last year I lost one. It wasn't that I knew I'm AS and he was also AS and we got married. That was not the case.
In a world where love knows no bounds, sometimes the greatest battles are fought not against society, but within our own very blood.
I had always thought that I am AA until the diagnosis came when my daughter was about 2 years or thereabout, and I was told that she was SS. So I didn't believe it. I had to go around to confirm the genotype. That was how it all started.
The AS genotype is not just a letter on a medical chart. It carries the weight of decisions that can alter lives.
It's one of those routines as a nursing student to get your genotype done and some other requests. So while I was a student nurse, I did my genotype and I was told I am AA. Not only me, I did several other tests because I had nail infection at the time. So I ran several other tests apart from the genotype. So, and I was told that I am AA. So I believed on that. And when I went for midwifery, I wanted to repeat it, but the reagent was not available and I didn't bother to go further. Until I had my second child, and the doctor said I should go for genotype. And when it came out, she was said to be SS rather. So I didn't believe it until I had to go several places to get the test done. Then I already had another child, this particular one that died. I already had her before I confirmed their status. So it wasn't that I knew I'm AS and he was also AS and we got married. That was not the case. But I was told that I am AA along with my fellow students who went into nursing at the time.
For many, love overcame the odds, but the price they paid was higher than they ever imagined. Sickle cell disease is more than just a diagnosis. It is a life sentence for the child and a lifelong battle for the parents.
Taking care of one sickler is a big problem. Then having up to 3 is a disaster. In our own society, in the black society, they see it as a punishment from God. And we don't blame them because that is how far their knowledge can take them. It's time consuming, okay, it's energy consuming, and it's money consuming. And it puts you in a perpetual fear, okay, perpetual psychological tension, and that you can lose any of them or even lose all of them. So that is a big psychological predicament that I have been facing. As we were told before, we lost one last year, 2 days after graduation. And those that we are lucky are still alive, money consuming, time consuming, energy consuming.
Sometimes I feel sad because it's draining and it can affect the relationship somehow, because you just feel at some point that it's like I don't know how to put it, that is straining the relationship somehow. But if it is not for understanding, we would have gone apart.
With proper counseling and informed decisions, many of these stories could have a different ending.
The regret I have is we should have done this genotype test before going into the marriage. Then even initially, I was told that the out of 4 children, there's only a possibility that one will be a sickler. But in our own peculiar problem, 5 children, 3 sicklers. Okay, so I think the regret is we should have done the genotype test and decide whether we'll be able to face the music or not.
Awareness, education, and courage in decision making can turn the tide on this silent epidemic.
The genotype doesn't change unless its procedures or interventions have been put in place. So things like transplant or gene therapy. If not, those things don't happen. But sometimes the technique that is commonly used in most places, known as the hemoglobin electrophoresis, if, for example, a patient has just been recently transfused before he went to do the test, there are certain things like transfusions and co will affect the result. So that's what sometimes happens in some cases, that the patients may just have had a transfusion and then have gone to do a genotype. So you wouldn't get the accurate results.
I would have done some things differently if, when I look back, like when I considered going abroad, since they have better treatment options for them. But the opportunity I had did not give me for me to come along with them. So I just declined. I didn't go. I decided to stay with them. So when I now lost one of them, I started feeling bad that if I knew, maybe I would have just tried another place. Maybe they would have allowed me to come with them. Maybe this one that died would have still been alive. You know, all of those things. When you are bereaved, you are bound to think of all those stuff.
Love is a powerful force, but sometimes the toughest battles are not fought in the heart, but in our blood. The journey of AS marriages is a bittersweet testament to this truth, where the joy of union is often shadowed by the pain of a child's suffering.
When we got the news, we didn't get adequate knowledge of having a sickler. One, and we didn't get adequate knowledge of how difficult it would be to take a one sickler, as our own turned out to be 3. Okay, and we now know that when they are in crisis, the whole family is in trouble. No happiness, nothing. You lose your appetite. You keep on praying that God, look, let him survive. You see, experience the bad teacher.
The survival rate would depend on care. So those who access care and take care of themselves very well, they live normal, healthy lifestyles. Because for us in Nigeria, our normal lifespan is about, I think, 40-something and 50-something. So we have sickle cell patients who are in that age. We even have sickle cell patients who are over 50. So what really makes a difference on their survival is access to care and proper management and proper self-care.
Genotype issue, actually, I think is manageable, because I can trace from the history back. Our forefathers used to get married without testing anything, and all these things did not occur. It's just like, can I just say, our way of feeding these days and the kind of things we do these days affect us unknowingly. Because I can say this confidently, because in my family lineage, nobody has ever tested that, and nothing has ever done anybody. It was recently I got tested and I discovered I am AS, my wife is AS, and we're still okay. I have children, I have 2 kids, and they're okay. Nothing like sickle cell anemia, nothing. And we are the same genotype, and nothing has happened. But I got married before. I just went to the hospital, did it like that. Not that I was doing it because I want to. I just want to know whether it's really work. We tested and I discovered me and my wife were the same AS. And we have children and nothing happened.
I was advised medically, and I read on the newspapers and online. When you get married to AS, getting married to another AS, there are future complications or damages that might occur. So for preventive measures now to avoid future problems now, it's advisable not to get married because you might encounter problems. So it's advisable to get married AA, getting married to AS, or AA, getting married to AA.
The burden of sickle cell is heavy, but through education, support, and empathy, we can lighten the load. For the families still fighting and for those yet to begin the journey, may we all carry this understanding forward. Because in the end, we are all part of the same human story, connected by blood and bound by love.
To other couples who are in this similar situation like us, I would advise that they stay strong and stay together and see what they can do for the children to live long, because they still live long, and continue to pray. There's nothing God cannot do.
One advice I will give, please, for young couple planning to marry, is go for genocide test. If two of you are compatible, then you go on with the marriage. If not, then probably you put an end to the marriage arrangement.
Once a parent knows that the child has sickle cell or has been informed, the first thing to do is to locate such an area, such a hospital that can provide such facility, register there, and go there frequently for the checkups and appointments as will be prescribed by the specialist.
As we share their stories, let them serve as a reminder. Knowledge is power, and informed choices can shape the destiny of generations to come.